Shalom from Israel, and welcome to this week's live unplugged version of Heartbeat of the Torah, Lev HaTorah. My name is Devorah Kalik, and I am with Bless Israel Network, and I'm your host for this program where we study the weekly Parashat. Normally, I would have prepared this and released it before Shabbat. But quite honestly, I had a very, very busy and kind of crazy week. I didn't feel good earlier in the week. And then I, like probably many of you, were following the news and everything about the coronavirus. I'm sure that this is true for many of you. I'm quite concerned about what is happening, first starting with China, and have, of course, like I'm sure many of you have been praying for God to stop this terrible plague and have mercy on the Chinese people. Then, of course, I became a little more concerned when I heard about the lockdown in Wuhan City, which is the epicenter of the breakout. And I became greatly concerned as I realized then, as it began to spread, actually I didn't finish my thought, the lockdown of Wuhan, and I realized that 11 million people were left and abandoned to struggle through the virus on their own. Quite concerning. Then, of course, as it began to spread outside of China, I have to admit that I got more concerned as I realized that many of my friends and family are in the United States and could come to harm through the virus, get sick. And then, of course, I have friends all over the world because of my studying in Yeshivat Shuvu. And then, after taking drastic measures here in Israel, the virus has also shown up here. Though we have very few cases here in Israel, we do have quite a few, hundreds actually, who have been requested to be in self-quarantine by our Ministry of Health. Now, I just want to be honest and admit to you that through the course of the last week and even the end of the week before, I actually have had a moment or two of great fear. Though we have, as I mentioned, very few here in Israel who are infected, we did have a lot of tourists here from South Korea and other places where outbreaks have happened. Well, having said all that, I've prayed now, and the momentary fear has turned into great shalom, great peace. After hearing Rabbi Shapira and others, I know now that there is something more going on here than what looks like on the surface. I want to stress to all of you who are watching right now, hi Katrina, how are you? And others who may watch it later, do not be afraid. God can use this coronavirus to wake up the nations to return to Him. And when the nations wake up and return to Him and return to authentic biblical messianic faith, then Israel will wake up. And I want to admit to you, it's not only the nations who need to wake up, but it's also those in the messianic movement who need to awaken from our slumber. Today, I want to coattail on Rabbi Shapira's powerful message on this week's Torah portion that he released yesterday, just before the Shabbat. And it's called The Coronavirus, Isaiah 53, and Your Great Opportunity Hidden for the Last Days. If you have not seen that, I highly recommend that you watch that, because he has received a prophetic message directly from God about this coronavirus situation. Now, you can go to Ahavat Ami YouTube channel or to his Facebook page, and I'm sure you'll be able to find the video. I want you all to know that I have had the great privilege of spending a lot of time with Rabbi Itzhak Shapira, and I can tell you that he's very trustworthy, and he's not the kind of man to say that he has received a prophetic download from God if he hasn't really received one. It's rare that he would say something like that. So I really do believe, though he is not a prophet and he doesn't call himself a prophet, he is a prophetic voice for us today, and he's a trustworthy voice that you can feel confident to listen to and follow and heed whatever he tells you to do. Many have said and complimented him as highly as saying that he is a modern day Rabbi Shaul or Apostle Paul. Again, he's not an apostle. He wouldn't call himself an apostle, but he has that kind of a gifting and calling. And so I can tell you with absolute confidence that you can trust what he has to say. He's one of those prophetic voices that you can trust. He is teaching truth. Not only that, but I can tell you he cares very deeply about other people. And he's not, as many, sadly, people have accused him, he is not in ministry for money. And he had a very high-paying job before he started Ahavat Ami Ministries with him and with his wife, Chris. And he gave up a very high-paying salary. And trust me, he is not making anywhere near that now. And he uses a great deal of the money that he has been given, not only to run his ministry, but he uses the rest of it to help other people. And Daniel and I have been helped by him more times than I can count. So, having said all that, I want to tell you and kind of coattail on his message a little bit. He explained that the meaning of Terumah or Terumah is the antidote for the golden calf, which could be said to represent our sins. The commandment for taking an offering, a Terumah, in this week's Torah portion happened before the sin of the golden calf in Parashat Ki Tisa. The gold that the people had gathered for building the Mishkan, the tabernacle in the wilderness, actually ended up being used for the golden calf, according to our sages, which of course was made from gold. That's why it's called the golden calf. So the Midrash explains that in Parashat Ki Tisa, Israel was commanded once again to bring gold, silver, and brass to build the Mishkan. It was considered a tikkun, a reparation and atonement for the sin of the golden calf. This is also what our sages tell us. What's interesting, and what Rabbi Shapira points out, is that the same material that Israel sinned with was the same material used later on to build the Mishkan. Now, Rabbi Shapira also pointed out that we have a golden calf today. It is the Jesus that's presented by most of Christianity, the Jesus, they say, who abolished the Torah and divorced himself from Judaism and the people of Israel. If we worship and believe in a Messiah outside of the Jewish context, we have made a golden calf. I would say it this way: if any of us has ever misrepresented Yeshua by presenting him outside of his Jewish context, we have really sinned and have made a golden calf. This is what Rabbi Shapira was talking about. We've separated him from the Torah and worshiped an idol who the Jewish people don't recognize. And Rabbi Shapira said that we ourselves must make a tikkun for this. How? How do we repair this? Well, he said that the Terumah is the answer. Terumah is spelled Taf, Resh, Vav, Mem, He. He realized suddenly, Rabbi Shapira did, when he was reading something from the Ramad Vali, that Torah is inside of the word Terumah. And that leaves, if you take Torah out of Terumah, it leaves the letter Mem. Well, Mem, the sages tell us, represent the Mashiach, the Messiah. Torah plus Mem equals the authentic Yeshua. There must be a marriage between the Torah and the Messiah. They are a package deal. They can't be separated from each other. And Rabbi Shapira then said, we must extract the real Yeshua from the klipa, which is the shell or the husk that surrounds him and hides or conceals who he truly is. We will separate him from the klipa, extract him, pull him out, if you will, by our actions. Separating Yeshua from the Torah is worshiping the sin of the golden calf all over again. And it keeps Yeshua hidden by the klipa, which hides his true identity. Separating Yeshua from Israel is also repeating the sin of the golden calf. When we put Yeshua back into his Jewish context, which is that he loves the Torah and he teaches the Torah, we are actually extracting him or pulling him out from that klipa. Listen, friends, Rabbi Shapira says, if we are truly concerned about people and we know about the Torah, we need to teach it or share it with others. A person who has received the truth and lets it stagnate inside him or her will become a vessel unfit for the master's use. Why do I say that? Well, we were meant to be vessels, vessels, tools, if you will, that have the truth poured into us, and then we pour out the truth to others. And if you think about, just for a moment, the Dead Sea, what has made the Dead Sea water so bitter, so unable to be consumed, to be drank? Well, the reason is because it's so full of minerals and undrinkable is because there's no outlet. Water flows in, but it doesn't flow out. If we don't let the truth that is inside of us, that we've received, flow out of us, we also will become stagnant. Our water will become bitter and undrinkable, and we become unusable by God. Like I said, we become unfit for the master's use. In fact, let me tell you something else that is in the Torah portion about truth. The Ramad Vali points out that in Exodus 25 verse 3, it says, "This is the portion that you shall take from them." The phrase, "you shall take from them," is asher tikhu me'itam. If you take the first letters of each word, which are Aleph, Tav, and Mem, they spell item, with you. He says that this is teaching us that the Terumah allows the Shekhinah to dwell with us and in us. Well, in addition, if we flip those letters, Aleph, Tav, Mem, we get Emet, Aleph, Mem, Tav. Emet is truth in Hebrew. What is truth? Truth is Yeshua and the Torah. It is Yeshua in a Jewish context. Truth is Yeshua in a Jewish context. It is Yeshua and Israel. They are both called sons in the Torah and in the scriptures, in the Tanakh. They also are a package deal. Yeshua and Israel. You can't have Yeshua without Israel. You just can't. Let me share just one more point with you that proves that this is true. Remember a little earlier I mentioned that Rabbi Shapira said that the Terumah is the antidote to the golden calf and our sins. Torah plus Messiah is the antidote and will make a tikkun, the fix for the golden calf that we have made today, and it will extract him from the klippah. I wanted to see if there was anything in the gematria that could prove that this was true. Well, guess what? The gematria of Terumah is 651. It is the exact same number, 651, for the phrase, Anachnu Nachalatz Mashiach. We will extract Messiah. This is not a coincidence, my friends. In addition to this, 651 is the gematria for Mashiach Ba'aretz, Messiah in the land. Wow. I'm constantly amazed at our God, and no human being could have put the Torah and these kinds of hidden clues within it to teach us truths that we can see in the Torah, in the Hebrew, with our own eyes. Well, as I close, I want to just say, if you want to help China, pray for them. Pray for them to have a revelation of the true Messiah. And pray for the godless communist government of China to fall, so that the Chinese people can have the freedom to learn and to worship the God of Israel as He wants to show them. He created them for this. He loves them too. And He loves all people of all the nations. His design has always been to reveal Himself to the nations and have them be grafted into the nation of Israel and be a part of the kingdom of Messiah. If you want to help the rest of the world, start learning the real, authentic Messiah. You can write to us at Bless Israel Network, and we can put you in touch with great Messianic teachers like Rabbi Itzhak Shapira of Ahavat Ami Ministries or Pastor Matt McEwen of Kosher Pastor. I'm learning from these men, and you are most welcome to contact me and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page, and you can go to blessisraelnetwork.com in order to contact me. If you are already learning Torah, good for you. But don't keep it inside. Don't keep it to yourself. Share and go out. Share and what you are learning with others. Some of you do have a great teaching gift, and you are capable of doing what we are doing at Bless Israel Network. Now is the time, and people are ready to hear this more and more every day, more and more all the time. They need hope, and we have that hope to give to them. Also, for many of you, maybe you don't necessarily have a teaching gift, or maybe you wouldn't feel comfortable doing what I'm doing, or Rabbi Shapira, and teaching on videos. However, you can have a gathering in your home, you can provide refreshments, and you can play videos where there are teachers who teach the authentic Messianic faith, the authentic biblical faith, and teach about the real Yeshua. You can share with family, friends, and your co-workers. And so anyway, I want to close by encouraging you to be sure to watch Rabbi Shapira's message, because he shares some other things that only he can share as well as he does. He'll do it and say it a lot better than I, and he connects the coronavirus and how he believes God can use us to stop this plague and to prevent another one from coming in the future. So do watch that message. I really encourage you. For now, I wish each of you a Shabbat Shalom. May the Prince of Peace fill you with his peace and the boldness to go out and share the gift that you all hold in your hearts. Lehitraot from Israel. I'll see you again soon.